Teen Challenge was actually founded in 1958 by David Wilkerson. If people are ever familiar with the book titled The Cross and the Switchblade, that's the story of the beginnings of Teen Challenge.
So this is like being too big. This is more like your grade school.
David Wilkerson saw an article in Life magazine about teenage kids that were on trial for murder, and his heart broke, and he went to New York City to try to help those kids and started just working on the streets with street people and gang members, and he quickly realized that drug and alcohol addiction were really at the core of a lot of the problems and affected homelessness and the rest of people's lives, gang activity. And so Teen Challenge was formed in 1958 in New York City, and now there's about 250 centers in the U.S. There's over 1,400 centers around the world. Yeah. So it's become a global organization. Our organization is independent, but we're connected to all the other Teen Challenges through accreditation. And so the program is essentially a one-year-long recovery and discipleship program. It's faith-based, and the guys and the gals in the program live together at the campus. There's curriculum, there's treatment and counseling and work experience. And so our thrift stores actually provide a lot of the vocational training and work experience so people can get an idea of what it's like to get into a rhythm of working and providing service without being an addict.
And how many people do you have at a time in the program?
So region-wide, we have about 200 people in the program. We've got a capacity for 300, and that's grown. Even in the last year, we've increased our population of students in the program by over 20%. Teen Challenge started in Oregon in 1983, so we've been here for 36 years, and then merged with Teen Challenge Washington, and a few years ago we changed our name to Adult and Teen Challenge to try to help people understand we're not just a kids program, a youth program, but we really help people in addiction of all ages.
Is there a waiting list, or how does that work?
Right now, there is room, I think, in all of our campuses. There's beds available. So if someone wants to get into the program, they can call our 877-302-7149 phone number and talk to an intake specialist, or they can go on our website, teenchallengepnw.com, and click on Get Help, and that will also walk them through the process, so they can talk to someone and figure out what it's going to take to get into the program and get the help they need. Yeah,
just basically, where do you need to be in your life to be available or be to qualify for the program?
So our adult programs, you have to be 18 years old or older, and we've had people, up to like their 80s who've been in the program. So there's generally younger gentlemen and women in the program, but we'll help anyone 18 and older. And then our Boise Girls Academy houses girls between the ages of, I think, 14 or 15 to 18.
Okay.
Probably the number one success factor for someone coming to the program is really their willingness to stick with the program.
Sure.
There's different success rates touted for different kinds of program. Research shows that longer-term programs have a longer effect and help people with their sobriety. So we're fairly long-term. We're a one-year-long program, and for some people, it's more than a year. We even offer an additional year internship for those who complete the program and want to do an internship. And a lot of those interns that complete the internship, a second year, end up working for us in our programs. Several of our campuses around the region, their directors were students at one time in the program.
Cool.
And our headquarters are here in Portland, but we have campuses that provide residential recovery throughout Washington, Oregon, Montana, Alaska, and we have an adolescent program for girls in Boise, Idaho. So we've got, I think, 11 campuses region-wide, and provide recovery services, a 1-year-long recovery program for people throughout those areas.
Cool. And there's a store with every campus?
We have 9 stores throughout Oregon, Washington, and then 1 in Montana. So we don't have any stores in Alaska or Boise, but we have 9 stores. There's one here in Portland. There used to be 2, one down on McLaughlin, and then we opened up this one, and then we consolidated to this location.
Cool. Where do you have to be in your sobriety to get in the program?
To get into the program, you need to be detoxed. So you might need to spend 72 hours at a detox center if you're currently on a substance. But once you're detoxed, we can take you right away.
Okay.
And an intake specialist would be able to talk more at length about
Sure.
those aspects.
Yeah, and it is faith-based, but would you accept non-Christians, or how does that work?
So although the program is faith-based and the curriculum is certainly biblically based, and it's a Christian organization, you don't have to be a Christian to enter the program. We'll take anyone who needs help.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. And how does the store connect with the program?
So a bunch of years ago, the founder's wife said, hey, I want to do a garage sale and raise some money. And that worked pretty well. And she thought, hey, what if we tried a thrift store? And they said, well, we can try. And it actually turned out to be really successful. And so since then, we've expanded. We've got 9 thrift stores throughout the region, and they supply about half of our income. And so the income that comes into the thrift store supports the overall ministry, and the students in the program spend maybe 3 or 4 days a week working, if they have a thrift store near their campus, at the thrift store. They're learning soft skills, people skills, customer service skills, as well as just the healthy daily habits of sobriety.
Yeah, sure. Interesting. Oh, can you we talked about this earlier, and it's a bit of a leading question, but the connection between work and sobriety, or the work and recovery.
So one of the aspects of our program that we find really valuable is it's not just a kind of a country club atmosphere. It's not a bunch of guys in a psych ward playing checkers all day long and watching movies. We feel like there's a lot of benefit to working and having a regular schedule and being productive, and just the satisfaction of being productive and the well-being that brings to a person's soul, but also the people in the program who are working through the vocational training, they're actually contributing towards their own recovery, and they're not just getting a handout. They're working to support their own program, and that's healthy. And they get to develop a habit and a lifestyle, and establish a year of work and day-to-day living that they can carry forward into the rest of their life and reestablish new habits in life. Provide skills training so that hopefully when they leave the program, they've got new skills under their belt they can take forward to a new employer. Does that answer the question?
It does. It makes sense. All right, so introduce yourself, please.
My name is Kyle Ockleitner. I'm currently the outreach coordinator at our Portland Men's Center. I have worked with Teen Challenge for a year and 3 months now. I have been with Teen Challenge as a whole for a little over 3 years. I came in as a student and had suffered with about 10 years of an opiate addiction. And then I did the internship, which was an additional year, and then now I'm a full-time staff member.
Awesome. Did you try any other type of programs? Was this the first chance you took?
So I had some state-demanded programs that I went through probation, stuff like that, but that was years before. With my addiction, I kind of got good at getting away with it. So I was able to really fool people that I was okay, and I held down a 8-hour day job, and really had other people convinced that I was managing my addiction, and then it really brought me to a place where I realized that I had to change something, that I would die as an addict, and my family would be suffering because of it. So,
What attracted you to this place in this program?
It was actually something that my mom brought to my attention. She had a friend whose son had gone through it and was doing very well, living successfully, and had changed his life around, and he had suffered with alcoholism for quite some time, and he was the one who completed the program, went through, and my mom brought it to my attention and said, Kyle, I really think this is something that you should look into. And at the time, I was really resistant to the program. I really didn't want to, from where I lived, I didn't really want to go 4 hours away to, be a resident in a year-long program, when in my mind I had deceived myself to think that I didn't really need that much help. I even had the audacity actually at the time to call the program and see if they needed volunteers to help other people find their recovery. And that's how sick I was in my head, is that I really thought that I could help other people at that time when I was so deceived in my own that I needed the help. So.
How is life different now?
Oh man, how isn't it different? My life is different in every single way. Before, if I was speaking, I was lying. I never had any money. Everything I worked so that I could pay for my addiction, so that I could have the energy to get up in the morning, so that I could go back to work, so that I could get money for my addiction. Everything revolved around keeping that lie alive. And so now I live a faith-based life. I have my own apartment. I have my license back. I mean, before I came into the program, it had been 6 years before I had legally driven. I was still driving, unfortunately, but it was a long time. And so those are things, just the small things, being able to manage my money, being able to look at myself in the mirror, being proud of the person that I am, giving the glory where it's due. The fact that I'm even alive today is really a miracle. I mean, if I had continued even for, I would even say a couple months, I would probably not be here today. And so, now beyond just the surface level things that are different in my life, it's really something where I day in and day out have the opportunity to share my experiences with people around me, and it make a difference because of what has happened in my life.
Awesome.
So it's truly incredible just to see how much my life is being used to change other people's lives now that I'm so different.
And what do you see as the connection between work and sobriety? Is there one? It's a leading question. But,
So for most people coming out of addiction, they have surrounded themselves like myself. So their work, I was raised with a good work ethic, so I had that going for me. A lot of people do not. So they don't know how to hold down a job. They don't know how to work with people. A lot of times that's the reason that they're an addict, is because they feel more comfortable with people around them because when they're high. And so the real advantage with having a vocational training aspect of our program is that they get to learn how to work with people, conflict resolution. They get to be a part of a team. They get to have some kind of pride of ownership as far as, they have a job that they're doing and they get to see it done well, and they get to see the customers. But even beyond that, it helps them to put together the pieces of their recovery and see how that they can string those together with not only living a clean and sober life, but working as a part of that. And so I think the advantage is huge. I've seen many people come in and out of the program that this has been a really important part to them, because they get, like I said, that pride of ownership, and they get to be a part of something. And for people who have very little work experience, this helps build a little bit. I mean, as a part of our vocation training aspect, they learn all the different aspects of what we do here at the thrift store, and they can get a reference afterwards. So this can be someone with no work experience. They now have a solid year of work experience that they can take into the next job. And so it really, it really gives them that hand up instead of the hand out, and it shows them that they are capable more than they even thought for themselves. So it's incredible.
Great. And if you had I'm sure you do this all day, you're in a neighborhood, people come in who are probably sick and in need of help and recovery. What do you say to them? And if you could speak to them, what would you say?
I would say that it is possible. No matter your circumstance, it is possible to change your life for the better. The men that work in this program, men that work day in and day out at the thrift store, they are men who came from broken pasts. They are men that had nothing who now have something. That's one of the awesome things about this, is that people come in, and regardless of where they're at, they get to hear the story of where that person used to be and where they are now. And they get to see them interacting with customers. I know for myself, when I was working at the thrift store, it was something where I had customers coming in and out that knew me, and they got to see the change in my life and all those different things. So for someone that's still struggling, that lives in this neighborhood, I would really say that we're here not only to help you find the products that you need, but also to be an inspiration, to be someone to listen, to be someone to pray with you, someone that can breathe that hope back into you, and let you know that there is a different way, and that you don't have to stay addicted, you don't have to stay houseless, you don't have to perpetuate the same cycle that you've been stuck in, that there is an answer to your questions. So
Awesome. Yeah, and that's anything else you feel like you want to say to either the community or to people who might be in need of this program?
One thing I would like to say is that our program isn't restricted by your ability to pay for the program. So if you are struggling with addiction and you know that you have no one behind you because addiction burns bridges, you don't have family support, you don't have people around you, we are here for that. We want you to know that hope doesn't come at a cost here, that the program isn't free by any means, but we will work with you and find ways to get you the help that you need and set you on the path for life that will include a success and be a life lived abundantly.
Mm-hmm.
One of the neat things about our thrift stores is not only do they provide vocational training to the students in the program, not only do they provide income to the organization, but we provide a green solution to a community. We
Sure.
provide quality goods, and we serve our customers in our community, and we're putting one man's junk, we're turning it into someone else's treasure.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always a treasure, if you dig hard enough, that you can find at the thrift store.
Mm-hmm.
And we develop relationships in the community where we can provide, high quality goods at a much lower price than you'd pay elsewhere.
Right, and also there's a fair need for recovery in this neighborhood.
Yeah, we find that our thrift stores actually provide a great connection to the community and those in need of sobriety.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of people come in the store high or
Good
intoxicated.
thing I have an extra water bottle.
Lots of people come into our stores
Gatorade squeezy.
high or intoxicated or looking for help, looking for a way out of their situation. Maybe they're homeless, they need help, and we've got guys who can say, hey, 6 months ago, 9 months ago, I was in your exact same situation, and let me talk to you a little bit, and let me give you the help that you need, and give you the hope. We're really in the mission of putting hope within reach for people, and that's been our motto for a couple of years, is putting hope within reach and giving people the hand up and the help that they need to reestablish a healthy life.